Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of The Human Side of Marketing. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel. I'm here with your host, Kurt Stockwell. Kurt, hello there.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
I'm honky-dory. How are you?
Good. How's your 2019? It's February now.
Yeah, man.
So we're cruising right through 2019. Are you still writing Are you still writing 18? You know, like when you write a date out?
I did that the other day. I did. Truth be told, I caught myself.
Yeah, it takes me about 6 months. So.
Right. I know. It's so funny. It's crazy because you remember back in the day when you'd be like, 2020 sounds like forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think last time we talked about the fact that Marty McFly came to 2017 or something like that,
yeah,
or 20,
right? With his
2015. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
crazy.
The scientists got to catch up. They're way behind.
Well, I know a lot of times in a new year, we sort of ramp up our networking deal. We talk to more people. We're excited to grow our business. And in those conversations, a lot of times people ask you like, hey, what do you do?
That's right.
Which brings us to today, right? Which is like, what do you say? What do I say when people ask me what I do? Talk to me about it.
So the title of the episode is What to Say When People Ask, What Do You Do?
Right.
Pretty self-explanatory, you know, and this is something that when I work with customers, work with companies, full companies or just solopreneurs, this is something that we can bring to the table in assisting with their marketing messaging. It's something that many times they haven't thought about. And I'll ask, you know, tell me, what's your one-liner? Or does your team know the one-liner? Can they describe what your business does? And usually the reaction I get is like, I'm terrible at explaining what we do. And it's so common, and it's very understandable because our business is just right here all day long, every day. Our business is right in front of our face.
Right.
And so we start to forget really how to clearly explain what we do because we're so familiar with it. And we have that curse of knowledge that I've talked about before. We have the curse of knowledge. And so many times when we explain what we do, we're super confusing. And so what I wanted to do today is talk about the one-liner. Now, the one-liner is a concise statement that you can use to clearly explain what you offer. Now, it's different than a tagline. It's different than a mission statement. It's literally, what do you say when somebody says, what do you do? And this can mean the connecting with somebody that could be a big sale, or it could mean losing a sale. I mean, if you're in a networking event and you're talking to somebody, I mean, you never know where that conversation is going to go. But if you start out the conversation with a really confusing initial message of what do I do, they're like, where are the bacon wrapped shrimp? I want to get out of here because this guy's boring me. Or they think, oh yeah, right. I understand what you do. And most of the time when people are like, they're like, yeah, I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm totally confused. So we want to clarify how to write a one-liner or to come up with a one-liner for your business. So not only you can tell your potential customers what you do, but your team can do it as well.
I think one of the challenges with one-liners is that there's so many things that we do in a business. We're like, how do I condense it to one line?
Right.
Like there's so many things I do to serve my clients.
Right. We've talked about before that if you're not known for solving one problem, you're probably not known for solving any problems. Because if somebody can't clearly say this company does this one thing,
right,
then they're probably going to be confused about how to talk about you at all.
Right.
They'll maybe give their version of what you did, but it's funny how many times have we experienced where people, even like our family members, describe what we do and we're like, no, that's not what I do. And I hope you're not telling people that. Forever, we have people like, oh yeah, Kurt, he owns an IT company. I'm like, nope, I don't own an IT company. No, we're a marketing agency and we do web development. That's not IT. So helping people clarify, when you can clarify what you're telling people, they can almost become a sales force for you, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good. Is there a process that we go through to do this? Or
there's a few steps that we're going to walk through about how to create your one-liner. So I'm going to be reading
Wait. You're going to give me the steps here? I don't have to I don't have to wait for the seminar. I can just get it right now?
You can get it right now.
Come on, Kurt. So, keep giving me value.
To turn up the volume and get ready to maybe make some notes here. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it together.
Utility, man, all the way. I love it.
This is the utility show. Exactly. Maybe we need to rename it the utility show. Okay. So what to say when people ask, what do you do? One, step one, start by stating the problem or the pain point that most of your clients face.
Okay.
What's the pain point that most of your clients face?
Okay. Can we role play this?
Sure.
So there's something tangible. Like, okay, if I think about mine, can I do me?
Yes, let's do you. Let's create your one-liner right now.
You coach me through it.
Okay. Right.
The problem that most of my people face is they have something really important to say to the world, but they don't know how to condense it into a mess. They don't know how to say it.
Right. So what you want? Yeah.
Too confusing, or does that make sense?
Nope. And so literally you wrote down exactly what you need to do on step one. For us, we're probably somewhat similar. For us, we would say that most businesses struggle with how to talk or explain what they do.
Okay. Yeah, that is similar. Well, we can use you. Let's use you as an example.
Yeah. So I think maybe you can use some of my one-liner when you're ready to use your one-liner.
You do it, and I'm going to just copy and paste what you say.
There you go. So we're very similar in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah, we both help businesses clarify their message. So start by stating the problem or the pain point that most of your clients face. Now, this is going to take probably some homework for you or your staff to kind of really understand what pain does your customers have. We talked before about how when you solve a problem, there's the external problem, the internal problem, and the philosophical problem.
Right.
Businesses and organizations sell to the external problem, but people buy products and services based upon the internal problem. You're solving my internal problem. And so we've used the example before of like a lawn care agency or a lawn care company, right? We make your lawn green, but inside you want pride, And so what you really need to kind of start digging into and looking at the services you provide and how your customers are using those services and what problem they're solving is there's the external problem, but internally, what's that internal, in our case, struggle, We both of us, Chris, we both help our customers deal with the fact that they struggle with how to talk and explain what they do, right? Or how to clearly understand how to connect with their customers, right? Or in your case, in your coaching, I know how to clearly create a plan for the things they want to accomplish in their businesses. You've talked before about wanting to turn over puzzle pieces, right? And so for you, in your coaching, the pain is confusion.
Yeah, confusion.
And so maybe what you would say for that is, how most businesses find it very confusing how to take the next step in the maturation of their business.
Yeah.
And then, I know what you're talking about there. And so that's going to start step one, stating the problem or pain.
Yeah,
so for us, we would say most businesses struggle to talk about and explain what they do. Step two is talk about your solution to the problem, just as you just stated. So for Well-Dressed Walrus, we've been using the story brand framework to help businesses go through creating a story based upon, you have your hero, their hero has a problem, that you're looking for a guide. So we're using that communication framework to help businesses find clarity. So for us, our solution to the problem is we use a simple communication framework that helps businesses clarify their message. So the solution to the problem that you just stated. So for you, Chris, when you have customers when you say, I help businesses, find clarity by how, so I guess I'll put that back at you. So what's the solution that you use?
I was thinking like, let's use my coaching stuff, for example, I'd say, well, do you know how most people get really confused about all the different ways they could grow their business and they don't know which one to pick?
Yes, I do know that.
Yep. What we do is we actually help them turn over all the puzzle pieces so that they actually are really clear about what the next step is.
There you go.
Does that work?
Yep, that works.
Okay.
That works great.
All right, cool.
And then step three. So step one, the problem. Step two, your solution. Step three is ramp up the success and clearly explain how your customer will feel after you solve their problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, for Well-Dressed Walrus, we would say that when you clarify your message, your customers engage more, word starts to spread about your company, and your business grows.
Say it again.
When you clarify your message, customers engage more, word starts to spread about your company, and your business grows. So for you, when you're explaining how your customers will feel after you solve their problem, what would you say they feel after they turn over those puzzle pieces?
Yeah, it's really good. I'd say, so once you're clear on what the next step is, all of a sudden you can focus all of your energy and resources into that one next step in order to grow your business in more time with less hassle or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So for us, when I put all that together and people ask me, what do I do? This is what I say. I always like to start out with, because that's kind of like you're keeping it light. You're keeping it kind of like more conversational. So I would say when somebody asks, what do? You know how most businesses struggle to talk about what they do? Mm-hmm. We use a communication framework that helps them clarify their message. And when you clarify your message, customers engage more and word starts to spread about your company and your business grows.
It's so good, Kurt. Come on.
So
awesome.
I haven't mentioned anything about websites.
Right.
I haven't mentioned anything about marketing consultation. Mm-hmm. I haven't mentioned anything about, hosting their websites or building other digital assets. Mm-hmm. And literally that's kind of that's really the kind of the magic sauce of a great one-liner. Right. You don't have to go into the actual widget that you make.
Right.
When you're clear about the problem that you solve and people go, I identify with that, then you're able to talk about those widgets and products because people go, tell me more.
Right.
Now you can start getting into some of those boring things that you maybe would have led with.
Right.
Where's
the bacon wrap shrimp?
Exactly. Right. And so when if you and I were meeting for the first time and you were telling me about, turning over puzzle pieces. And when you do that, you get more time, you feel more energy, you feel less stress. I would say, wow, tell me more about that. Mm-hmm. And then you can tell me about your services and, maybe even your coaching fees and all of those kind of things. Right. That's when, and it goes back to the whole philosophy of when you can be the guide to a person rather than the hero, then they're allowing you to just kind of take them on a journey.
Right.
It's almost like after you get through this one-liner that's really clear, they kind of put their hand out and go, take me on a journey through how you do that, because now I'm very interested.
Right. That's so good.
Man, go ahead.
What I'm present to as you're saying that is like, I've read StoryBrand. I read the book, right? And I've gone through the worksheet of it all, but you simply asking me the question and facilitating it for me was so much easier in this moment. And it's like, I know this is some of the work you do with clients. Like when we get to the end and you can tell me when that is, but I want to invite people to have that conversation with you because right now in this moment, that was so much easier having you guide me through it,
Yeah, I've done this workshop before for a room full of people, and it's actually really fun because you can use the room to kind of help shave off the rough edges a little bit. When you're putting it out there to the room and saying, okay, this is my thought about my one-liner, then like, what does everybody think about that? Like, I still don't get it, and so it's kind of fun doing that in a group. But then I've also done it as to solopreneurs or even teams of businesses. So yeah, it's a really fun, this is one of the most fun things that I get to do right now with helping businesses clarify their message using the StoryBrand framework, because it's something you can use immediately. As soon as you walk out the door, you can start using this. Many times when we're working on other aspects of your marketing, we're like, okay, so when we get the website built, then we'll put these words in there. Or when we do the email campaign, that's going to launch, maybe in Q2. But this is something that you can use right away.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really something that's going to help you we talk all the time about rising above all the noise. I guarantee this is something your competition is not doing.
Yeah, I guarantee. Yeah.
And it's not something that's pricey. It's not expensive. And it's probably one of the most critical things you can do in your marketing if you need to take step one. Yep. Even if you're on step 6, go back to step 1 and clarify your one-liner.
Absolutely. Hey, this might be my favorite episode so far.
Oh yeah? Cool.
This was, I don't know. There's something that was so succinct about it. And I think I also like the example thing because I think that made it super real, but I'm fired up right now. I want to invite people to connect with you this way because it's so valuable if people want to reach out to you.
Yeah. So one thing that we do after we create this one-liner is we also start to talk about how you can engage this into your business. And so I always encourage businesses, if you have multiple staff members, encourage your staff to memorize the one-liner. I've heard a story where I haven't done this personally, but heard a story where a guy was trying to get his team to memorize the one-liner, and he'd walk around with $5 bills in his pocket, and he would say, "What's our one-liner?" And if you could repeat it, you get $5.
That's awesome.
You know, it's just really simple and kind of fun. But when your staff can memorize the one-liner, what you do, and it's clear and it's succinct, you turn your staff into a sales force. You know, the guy that's not the salesman all of a sudden turns into a salesman.
Yeah.
Because people clearly understand what you do. Put it on your business card, put it in your email signature, print it on the wall of your retail space.
Those are great tips.
Make it the first sentence in the paragraph of your website. Use it for profile descriptions on social media. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that and make it really, really clear. So if you want to connect with me about how to clarify your message through the power of a great one-liner, you can go to clarifymymarketing.com, clarifymymarketing.com, and just schedule a time. We can have a conversation, and we can talk about what it would take to hire me maybe to come in and talk to your team, or let's just have a conversation about where you're stuck in your marketing.
So good. I love it. Wow, Kurt, I'm so impressed, and I'm so pumped on this episode. It's awesome. I can't wait for the next one. Until then, thanks for your time, and we'll see you.
All right. Thanks, Chris.